we're going drag racing because I got a wheelie bad idea. Sorry. I'm done with the wheelie jokes. Genuinely, one of my favorite things that cars do is wheelie when they're doing drag racing and stuff like that. And that got me thinking, how hard would it be to do a wheelie across an entire quarter mile? That's an interesting idea. Today in automation, we're gonna build a drag car from scratch, design every single element of it for the purpose of wheeling an entire quarter mile drag strip. How hard can it be? There's a considerable number of factors that we need to consider. Although, yes, Vin Diesel likes to do wheelies with the engine in the front, it'll be so much easier if I wheelie with the engine in the back, right? We want the car to be like, kind of like a pendulum. We want the front of the car to be as light as possible. We want the rear of the car to be somewhat heavy so it tilts like that, right? Rear wheel drive to keep the weight off the front, rear engine to keep the weight off the front, and then give it like wheelie bars and a fat engine with loads of torque. It might work, right? So we're gonna make the entire car out of carbon fiber. The chassis, or like the actual chassis itself, is also gonna be made of carbon fiber. We need lightweight and we need strength. Rear engine is actually possible. The other important thing is I need ground clearance, right? Look at the way the rear wheel reaches the bumper. Put an imaginary line from here to over here. That angle is the max angle we'd ever be able to achieve because of the angle of the bumper. As much as I would like to use this, I don't know if this car's the end. Yo! Okay, I don't know why the car looks like a shoe, but I think this works. This is straight up the play. Let me make it a little wide body and then wide body it even more. A little bit of body modding later. I think that looks pretty good. Chat says I've made a wide body Triumph green. Look, it's Jacob's color. I know with this new version of automation, right, the game wants you to put all of the body work on it and, like, you know, make it look good. I think that's not a very good order to do things in. Before we do that, I need to, one, make it rear wheel drive. Most importantly, I need to make sure we can get a big ol' engine in here. So I probably want something that's like very torque. Probably all things considered, we really won't need all that much horsepower. We'll come back to all of our tuning in a second. For now, I'm just throwing all the bits and bobs on that we want. You know what could be quite fun as well? Supercharging this thing. We will honor Dominic Toretto. For now, our supercharger is going to build 29 PSI. Let's have it fire up with methanol for right now. Dude, look at that thing. 350 foot-pounds of torque, 420 horsepower. If I want to make this engine even more torque, usually when I'm playing automation, I'm trying to build something with a very specific amount of horsepower. I never really focus on the old torque. I'm essentially asking, how can I make a glorified diesel? How can I do that? Ethanol? Ethanol's kind of diesel, no? This red line, I want it to start as high as it can, right? I essentially want it to be a flat line. If I can get a flat line, then I've basically got what's called instant torque. Kind of like an electric. Actually, technically, I should be making an electric car. I think twin charge with one turbo. Let me throw my exhaust back on. 300 foot-pounds of torque from the get-go, all the way up to 600 foot-pounds of torque. This car should sound insane. Okay, hold on. Let me just pick my fuel. I guess we're gonna run E85. I guess that's fine. Let's take a quick listen to it. What's it sound like? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Anyways, the engine worked. Our engine is in. Yo, you can see the turbo hanging down. That's so cool. That's actually going to impact our rating or our angle there. Now that we've done that and we've got an engine that works, let's go and make this thing really, really cool. I got to go and build myself an wheelie bar. The way I like to make my wheelie bars in this game is by doing them like handmade like this. I don't want the car to rest on the bumper because then it'll damage itself. So I'd rather have it rest on the wheelie bar. And I think that angle's pretty good. It's not a monster wheelie. We need our wheelie bar to look wheelie good. I love how we literally haven't done anything else. I've spent all my time working on a goddamn wheelie bar for the car. I don't know if this is a feature in automation. I've got to assume it is because I don't know the full in-depth of this game. I really wish it was possible to select like all of these these and then merge them and then save it as a prop? It probably is, right? Now that we've got the wheelie bar done, let's go and actually make this thing look good from the front. So we need some muscly headlights. So let's go for... Ooh, look at these. Some of these new headlights are crazy. Dude, that actually looks insane. I can 100% make that work. Let me get a nice grill. The way that metal piece runs through. Oh my God, that's so cool. That's a crazy front end. Love that. You get all the airflow through. Please pay no attention to this car being rear engine, so it doesn't actually matter anyways. But that, besides the point. Let's go for a nice little hood scoop on here as well. Again, not that it really is gonna do anything. Let me grab it in that nice white color. That's cool. Let me go grab like a nice roof scoop. See, chat, you thought this was gonna be a normal looking car. Wrong. There we go. Nice roof mounted air intake. Feeds our engine. Chat, do not even for a second say this car has a mullet. Let's give it some nice vents on the side, maybe. Maybe I should paint that white too. I actually take back what I said. Dude, I love all these little details. Let's go for a nice rear wing over here. This is like a JDM inspired rear wing, I believe. And I think they look pretty insane. You know those Mitsubishi Evos that have like the double rear wing? They have like a rear wing over the rear glass. I don't know why they have it. I assume it's for downforce or something. Or wait, doesn't it make it stable? That's basically what I'm gonna do here. Anyways, let me go and paint this white so it kind of blends in. That's quite cool. That's quite cool. That works. All right, get a nice little license plate on there. Wait, chat, I completely forgot to get tail lights. How did we forget tail lights? Dude, this is the best looking car I've ever made in this game, and it's not even close. I know my engine's in the back and all, but I make a homemade unicorn. I think other than that, I don't think there's anything else that you know what? Oh, sure. I'll give it some cool little hood latches. I really hope this works. After that, we need to consider our gears for this, right? I was questioning if we do a CVT, but I think a sequential is going to be the safe bet. And then let's go for a 5-speed. Actually, no, maybe a 4-speed, and then we'll just stay in 3rd and 4th. And then top gear, we'll limit it to 180 miles an hour. I'm gonna need some drag race tires. Beautiful. This is where things get quite funny. Super skinny front tires. Maximum thickness in the rear. I think that looks pretty sick. Look at those little skinny bike tires, bro. Dude, this has drag car written all over it. Then in the front, I'm gonna go 1 piston carbon ceramic and keep the brake as small as possible. In the rear, that's where all my braking force is gonna be. That's not how it works in real life. Don't do that. I'm gonna go for a race diffuser, sure. We'll tune all of our downforce in a moment. Then I'm just gonna go for 1 seat, a race interior. Then we're gonna put all of our weight distribution to the rear. 80% of the weight is in the rear. Oh my God. Damn, dude, and look at that downforce. Okay, that's too much downforce. We need a little less. I like how it says the car's gonna understeer. I think that's a bit of an understatement considering the wheels will be like 6 feet in the air or so. I'm gonna call it the wheelie good car. If I just drive, will it do a wheelie? Why does it sound like a Pokemon? We may have a bit of a problem. It's got so much horsepower. I'm gonna say something dumb. The chassis twists off the line. Unless I don't drop it into the revs. I think my gear ratios are actually messing us up. Like every time I go to shift, my wheels lose all of that horsepower. Look, the car can almost do it. The car can actually almost do it. I need a CVT. Definitely CVT. I think I actually want to keep the top speed relatively low. Like 150, I think is more than enough speed. Oh, wait. Can I not tune the front ride height and the rear ride height individually? I think if I'm going to do that, I need to go through this, bump up the rear, lower the front. Now we're looking drag car-like. Dude, that's actually scary cool. My suspension was slightly too... I think it might have been soft in the rear. So let me make it stiffer. All right, let's give it another go. Ah, look at that suspension. Dude, the suspension's so much better. Get ready. Pop it in gear. Go. Ah! Dude, that's sick. I think we got pretty close to half there. And to be honest, I think we ran into a power problem. The car's horsepower kind of died at the end. Go. Dude. Okay, so I think we might need more horsepower, or well, technically more torque, actually. I think we need slightly higher red line and genuinely just more power. I guess let's mess with this Actually, hold on. Actually, right out of the gate, let me just throw better fuel in. We'll go from E85 to methanol. Right now, we are 630 foot-pounds of torque and 600 horsepower. Look at that torque curve. That's almost flat. And let me get more horsepower from our turbo and our supercharger. That'll give us more horsepower for sure. Dude, what's nice about the superchargers is they build very consistent torque. So we're already up above 700 foot-pounds of torque. I just want it to be a bit more stable, which is why I'm detuning it. As it stands right now, we've got 800 horsepower and 750 foot-pounds of torque. I mean, we can make the supercharger a little bigger if we want a little bit more horsepower or a little bit more torque down low. Chat, look at this torque curve. Now we've got close to 1,000 horsepower, and look how flat that torque curve is. It's almost 800 foot-pounds of torque. All right, Wheelie good car part 3, I guess. And fire. Yo! Chat, that's close. I just gunned it, right? I just gunned it across the line. I think this is the play. What if I just throttle control though? Whoa! Dude, I hit one of those little things in the road and it just killed my car. If I'm having issues running into the limits of the drag strip, why don't I just get rid of the limit? Take the barrier. Oh. Not that. I selected the wrong thing. Is this barrier all one piece? Ah, and then can I get rid of these too? Are these all individual? I guess it's time to see if this works. All right, boys, welcome to the drag strip. It looks a little different than normal. Let's see, go. It's not actually fast. It's just smooth. Damn, dude, it actually does drive. Dude, look at it. It really does drive. I think a mix of throttle control. Oh my God, dude. It just... Whoa! What did I hit? One bounce. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. It just wheelied a quarter mile and it's still going. It actually just did it. It actually did it. Could I make it without doing the first bounce, though? TD says do a burnout to heat the wheels up. Actually, a good idea. You know what? Actually, no. I don't need warm wheels. My wheels being warm actually doesn't make a difference. I think, as you can tell, we've already got more than enough grip. The grip is not the issue. Could you just reverse and throw it into first and wheelie the quarter mile that way? I could. The problem is still the limiter. Wait, there's no way that works. Wait, there's no way that works. Oh, one bounce. Two bounce. Chat says very effective drag bars. Hey, you shut your goddamn mouth about my drag bars. My drag bars are top tier engineering. They just seem to have... It did it! It did it! It did it! Yo, that counted! Chat, that counted. That counted. That counted. That counted. How do I rewind? I just need to keep trying this over and over. And eventually, one of them... That's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. That's a quarter mile wheelie! Let's go! Let's go! Hold on. Review the play. We throw it in reverse, throw it forward. It's wheeling before the line, and then the front wheels never touch the ground again. They never touch. Oh my God! Dude! We've wheelied the entire quarter mile. Chat, I wheelie did it. You're right. I wheelie did it. I think this might be genuinely one of the best automation cars I have ever met. Dude, look. Look, I can just run it back to back now. Run it back to back and set it down. Oh my God. And then if I want, tap the brake, gun it, and it goes back. Dude, this is so sick. This is the best car I've ever made.